Another week, another Holton Ahlers episode. We're going to talk about the Tulane game, what went right, what went wrong. Also preview Tulsa. Caiden to start with Tulane. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. Off another loss, sadly, but it's kind of a loss that you feel like there's a lot of positives from, but also a lot of negatives that's been trailing us all year. The offense, literally, it's the same story. I feel like every week it's the same story. We come in here and I'm like, it's the same thing. Defense shows up, offense doesn't show up, and they show up in the second half too little, too late. If they would have shown up in the first half, maybe not committed so many penalties, crucial penalties. We're on the other side of the ball. That's kind of what the story of the season is. What frustrates me so much is you see other G5 teams and you see them play, and you see other teams in our conference play, and you're like, holy crap, we have a really good football team. We have really good defense. We have really good special teams. It's just the offense. There's a giant question mark there every week almost.
It's tough because I think what I'm most annoyed with about it is we have the talent. It's literally like saying the same thing every single week. Yeah. We have the talent. We have the offensive scheme to do it. I think JDB is trying to get he's thinking about it too much. Like, this offense is built, this scheme is built. The coaching tree that he is from gets guys open and goes and scores a lot of points. Like, we don't got to recreate the wheel, just run the offense that he's learned over time. And we said the whole time, won the run game. It was probably our best running game. We still didn't have any really big explosive plays. But why are we not throwing the ball deep? And then when we need to go, coming out of the second half, we didn't do anything the first half. Coming out of the second half, you need to throw the ball deep. We need to go score. What do? We throw it deep and we go score. So it's like when pressure's on and we have to move the ball, because it's like, okay, we've been stagnant for a half. Let's go move the ball. A la NC State, first half, second half, like, we go down, we march down the field, and we score. That's a totally different game. So, like, what is the difference? Why do we have to start slow to get to the point to be aggressive offensively? We have the guys, we have the talent, we have the quarterback. We are just not calling deep shots for the quarterback to throw it down the field, and it's driving me insane.
Yeah, I think it is crazy. I think one highlight I will call out is I think we ran the ball a lot better. Marlon Gunn came in and looked a lot better.
Yeah, he looked very good.
But I think, why are we taking Gunn out so often?
He hasn't played that much all year.
I know, but when he's in, he's the one back that looks spurty. He looks like he gets way more yards. He has that flair to him. And I get running backs need rotation. But, like, playing 3 to 4 backs, like, I don't know many schools that actually play 3 to 4 backs as consistently as we do. It's let the guy who can get the juice going. Well, give him the juice, and we need a squirt of water. Bring the next guy in, but the rotation, like, let someone in there that can feed off the momentum off the run game.
Yeah, I mean, we've been screaming for Marlon to play all year. I mean, I played with Marlon. Marlon's actually kind of coming out party was my senior year at Tulane. He played really well when Rajay got hurt. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't. It's tough because, like you said, you look at the conference, it's very winnable. And the winner of this conference realistically is probably going to the playoff, bearing something crazy happen with other schools. So, like, do I still think we have a chance? Yes, I still think we have a chance. We're going to win the next 3 games, most likely, and then you're going to have a big one with Memphis, and you got to show up for that Memphis game. But even with the Memphis win and we went out, other things have to fall our way now. Like that Tulane game, they almost tried to hand it to us in a lot of ways, and that's what was, like, frustrating. Was, look, Tulane had a chance to start out 28-0. They stopped themselves or slowed themselves down. Then our defense stopped them 4 times in the red zone the first quarter.
And I think you have to call how good our defense really is.
Oh, yeah. No, they're very good.
Like, yeah, Tulane had a lot of yards. Don't get me wrong. Tulane had a lot of yards. But when it came down to crunch time, defense made plays. And they had 1 turnover, but they probably should have had 2 interceptions. At one, the DB ran into each other, and the other was dropped. That they played so efficiently. Like, I want people to talk about the yardage all day, but it's all about the defensive efficiency. And when you can have your backs against the wall that many times, like, they played BYU. Of course, BYU game they lost by 21, but they played Tulane, right outside the top 25 teams. They played some good teams and played a really good football. So I think our defense can play against anyone. Honestly, outside of Tulane and Memphis, like, I think our defense is going to dominate pretty much everyone else.
Yeah.
The scary part is you look at someone like Temple, who should have beat Navy.
He's getting better.
And that's getting a lot better. You look at other schools as well, and it's like, hey, looking to figure out what the office should have for lunch or planning your next tailgate. When you're catering, go no further than NC's Eastern North Carolina's favorite barbecue. That's right, Sam Jones Barbecue. And when you purchase Sam Jones Barbecue, make sure you round up to help Eastern North Carolina make a wish. So each purchase, you round up to the nearest dollar, you're donating to Eastern North Carolina's Make a Wish to make sure we can help a kid's dream come true. I think our defense can play with anyone in the country almost, outside of a couple SEC teams and Big Ten, obviously. But the G5, the ACC, I think we could compete pretty well. Our offense, on the other hand, even someone like Tulsa has me scared this week. Not because Tulsa's a great football team. It's just if we're inconsistent, like we've been all year, you lose that football game. Because if you don't score points, you lose football games.
Yeah, no, that is the hindsight of 2020. Yeah, if you don't score, you don't win. Our defense is going to keep us in every game. That's the case. And do I think we're going to go and beat Tulsa? Like, yeah, I think we'll beat Tulsa. But it is more scary now because, like, we keep saying, like, we can have a really, really good offense. But, like, at some point, you got to turn the table and actually be the really good offense. Like, Caiden Hauser's proven that he is good. When given the chance, Caiden Hauser's really, really good. We are not giving him a chance to be the best player he can possibly be right now. Same with these receivers. Anthony Smith, I think, had 2 deep balls thrown at him last week. He caught one for like a 50-yard gain. Like, why is he not getting more? Brock Spalding, where is he getting, like, where are his touches at? You know what I mean? So, like,
Even Yannick Smith,
like, yeah, Yannick Smith turned down a lot of money, and Anthony Smith did too, to come back this year to play in this offense, this high-octane, throwing it deep offense. And we're really not giving them – we're giving them chances. Don't get me wrong. But this offense is built – the scheme schematically wise is literally built to, like, have excessive deep balls, and that's where our skill is now. Now, look, I understand, and one thing that a lot of people didn't talk about, Bryce Weaver didn't play last week, starting right tackle, and that was a huge hole. Like, he didn't start at the beginning of the year. I don't know how he wasn't started at the beginning of the year, Conley boy, but we really, really missed him versus Tulane, and that side of the offensive line really struggled. But it's like a domino effect, and Caiden, that's a domino effect. Once one starter's hurt, like it kind of affects the whole offensive line, the communication and everything.
The thing of the offensive line is if one person makes a mistake, one person pulls wrong, one person miss one assignment, you're usually a lot of times letting people go. And you let people go, you get hit late. And Bryce Weaver, I think, was a huge loss last week. They're, not trying to single people out, but you could see there was some youth going on that offensive line. Flags, early mistakes. It came a lot from the same area.
Or inexperience.
Youthfulness and experience. That's good you get those players experience, but in a big-time game like that, you really needed someone like Bryce Weaver there.
Yeah, but going back to, like, my thought process and why I brought it up, one, I wanted people to know, like, it was our worst offensive line played game, but it wasn't their fault. Like, we had injuries there. We had some starters out. But one thing I'm talking about, the deep balls, because and a lot of people are going to say, and I definitely understand it's a good argument, that how are you going to throw it deep if you don't have time? That is a very valid response, and that's something that we would have to address, and I had to address a lot of times in my career, honestly, is like, and not dog my offensive line, but just in general, Caiden, as being a quarterback, you got to understand the timing you have, is the routes that we were running deep. If we called deep balls, we were getting sacked on a lot because we were running like cross country routes, which is like deep developing 5-step drop routes. When I'm saying throw the ball deep, I am meaning post. And really, go balls is my main thing, is a go ball. Like, you get man coverage, throw a go ball. You get a post, throw it. Like, that is like a 1, 2, 3 step drop, hitch and throw. You'll have enough time to do that. Whereas like a slow developing 5-step drop, you got to wait 2 hitches, wait for the cross or wait for the post. That's a totally different thing. That's what we were running some early on and getting sacked on. So that is kind of my knock on the offensive scheme is, let's let Caiden throw it deep, but let's let him throw it deep on routes that aren't slow developing. Let's get him on go balls. Like, go ball, you're going to know if he's open or not, and you're going to throw it. You're going to know the trajectory of the ball. You just got to make sure the safety's not there. Post ball without a country underneath it, like, you're going to see the safety come down if there's a curl underneath and hit it over top in a 3-step drop and a hitch and throw. That's plenty of time.
One thing I will give Tulane credit was their DBs, or our receivers, couldn't get a lot of separation early on. Their DBs were playing really tight coverage, which I wish we did take a lot more shots later on. As you see, they were committing penalties late when they shouldn't even committed penalties. But I think that might have maybe made JDB a little bit more timid in the beginning. But the late delaying routes is, it's like, let's get some quick game, build some quick confidence. That'll build the O-line's confidence, especially guys with inexperience in there, and get the ball rolling. But something that Just frustrating.
It's time to do. The thing I think that was most frustrating with JDB and what this offense is like versus bad teams, it's looked amazing. So like this 3-game stretch, like expect us to
amazing.
Yeah, but then it's gonna truth time, Memphis.
Yeah.
How are we gonna show up versus Memphis?
Exactly. Well, you gotta take one week at one week at a time, and I think this week is a good week to do it against Tulsa. Tulsa, I want to watch really tightly one game this year against Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State, the game that Gundy got fired afterwards, I would say is probably one of the worst football teams in the nation I've watched play. And that team, Oklahoma State team that day, had a lot of opportunities that they just missed. Just straight up missed throws. Straight like they should have beat Tulsa and scored 4-5 touchdowns on that. They got in the red zone, gave it up. So I think this is one of these games that you come out. JDB calls the game that he's been calling. I think you're going to be effective. But it's like, hey, let's not do that. Let's actually take some shots and build up 2 games, like big games coming up, and really give these guys confidence in anything they will. I think the defense didn't come out and really stop them. Kirk Francis is back. He came back against Memphis last week. He was hurt most of the week, and they had a freshman
for their quarterback.
He was the backup last year and took the starting roles and got hurt early on. And then had another freshman start most of the year. I think the defense is probably will handle them pretty well. They have a pretty strong running back that actually played at the beginning of his career at Oklahoma State that ran the ball pretty well against Oklahoma State as well, which I think the defense is going to come out, do what they've been doing. It's just like I think it's a great opportunity for offense to build some positivity here and build some confidence in themselves. Looking for a good lunch option? Looking for a quick dinner after the kids get home from school? Look no further than Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Holton Ahlers loves eating a lot of food. He loves his subs. And check out Jersey Mike's.
This is a shot at me? Okay, respect. Check out Jersey Mike's. I do love eating, and I do love Jersey Mike's. Mine is either the club sub or the Big Kahuna. I like that too, Caiden. That's my nickname, the Big Kahuna. Jersey Mike's. Yeah, fun fact, Trey Lamb, head coach of Tulsa, I talked about in the 5th quarter.
I don't know if you should just tell the story again.
Yeah, so tell the story. So I get cut. It was 2023. It was after Donnie got fired. It was, I think, between, I don't know, I think it was in between getting cut and signed from Seattle. But Donnie got fired. We were interviewing head coaches, or not head coaches, offensive coordinators for the role that JDB eventually, got the job for. And I get a call one night, and it is an agent. And the agent is Trey Lamb's agent, and he pretty much says, hey, we know you have a close relationship with Coach Houston, who was hiring the offense coordinator at the time. I have a guy who ended up being Trey Lamb, which is the head coach at Tulsa now, who wants to be the offensive coordinator. He thinks he's a good fit. He's the head coach of, I think, Gardner-Webb. Fact check me on that.
It's Gardner-Webb.
Gardner-Webb. So he's the head coach there. He wanted to be the offense coordinator at ECU. So he understands the position of how good of a job this is.
Let's just stay back. And his agent called you?
His agent called me.
Did you think it was a prank call at all?
I don't know why, but no.
I didn't think so. Too legit.
Yeah, it was just it would have been very random if it was a prank call. But pretty much the agent was asking me to pass on the information to Coach Houston that he was interested in and wanted to interview for the offense coordinator job, even though he's head coach at Gardner-Webb, which shows a lot about what he thinks about this program at ECU. Trey Lamb ends up taking the job at East Tennessee State, winning there, and then going to Tulsa, and he's building something there now too. He's a good offensive mind, young guy. And then Brock Winstead, Peyton Winstead's brother, was transferring from East Carolina as a long snapper, needed a place to go. I reach out to Trey Lamb, say, hey, there's this walk-on long snapper. He's a very close family friend. Like, could he have opportunity to walk on there? And he says, yes. Let him go. Brock Winstead's the long snapper at East Tennessee State now. One message, Trey Lamb said, yes, tell him we'll take him. For me, I'd never talked to Trey Lamb. Me and him talked through his agent, but I respect him a ton now just for that, just for saying, hey, this guy's looking for a home. He's transfer long snapper from ECU. You just got a new head coaching job. Like, I don't know if you have long snapper or not. You probably don't know that, but I have a guy who is a good kid and wants to walk on. He was like, yes, tell him he's got a spot. And Brock Winstead, long snap.
So you and Trey Lance never spoke, but he paid your request back off you connecting with Mike Houston.
Yeah. So there's mutual respect there. There's mutual respect between me and Trey Lamb. Trey Lamb, you're probably not watching this, but I respect you.
Hey, we should get Trey Lamb on a little quick preview.
We should have. Dang, yeah. We'll have to call him. Yeah,
we still have time. We still have plenty of time.
But yeah, I think he's building something at Tulsa. They beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's terrible. But yeah, I think they're going to be eventually a good program. When we played Caiden, 2020 they were in the conference championship. They used to have good talent.
Well, think about it. ECU is since 2016 1-5, or 1-4.
Yeah, we got screw jobbed.
Yeah. I know we got screw jobbed, but
still, that's still
it's not a series we've won since in a long time.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big game, and I think we'll go in and we'll win it. Thursday night games, which are good for spotlights, but not good for crowds. It kind of sucks, but I feel good about it. What I want to see explosive run game. I've said it all year, but this is the game really to go out and say, like, we're going to have explosive runs. Like, let's make those things happen, and also just take shots deep down the field. Like, we're going to run the ball. I know, like, everyone's like, let's throw the ball. I agree. But when we run the ball, let's see some explosive run game is what I would like to see out of the offense.
Feed Marlon Gunn.
Yeah.
I don't want to see 4 different backs or 3 different backs. Like, yes, give them the rotations. If a couple guys get a couple, I want to see one guy carry the workload. And when he needs a water chug, get someone else in there. But I think Marlon Gunn's our guy.
Yeah.
I really do.
And personally, games we're going into like this, I think we're a 14.5 point favorite or maybe even more now. This is when our 16. Offense, 16. I think this is when our offense has like just looked good under JDB. Like they've looked really, really good. We'll go out and score 50.
Yep.
I don't care how much we score as long as we win for this game. But I really would like to see, like, let's establish a guy at running back and establish a good explosive run game. Let's get some explosive run, get those guys confidence. Because you ain't going to beat Memphis without running the ball. I'm just telling you right now, you're not going to beat Memphis. Memphis beat Arkansas because they could run the football. Memphis is a really good team. If it ain't, I hope it's us making the conference championship, making the playoff. But if it ain't us, it's going to be Memphis. I'm telling you, Memphis is really, really good. We got to rep up for that. And I've said it all year. You got to get explosive run game to win these big games.
Oh, and you're looking 4 weeks ahead already.
Yes, I am.
What are these games? Stepping stone games for you?
They should be, but I'm not saying that anymore. We lost to Charlotte last 2 years.
I'm just saying you flipped to Memphis. So that's why.
I'm just saying like that's the next big game, and to win big games, I've said you got to be able to run the football.
I honestly think this game you come in and play effective. I think ECU blows it out. Next game, Temple. At Temple.
That's a sneaky one.
I think next
Temple's
week
a weird place to play.
It is a weird place to play.
No one there.
No one's there.
And Philly's weird.
So I think we'll see how it goes the next 2 weeks. I think they should be stepping stone games, confidence builder games. Yeah, obviously Charlotte is that as well. Let's see how the first one goes. Hopefully the offense comes out and plays strong. Let's see if we can hit that first stepping stone to the road to the next big game. Yeah,
we're just giving bulletin board material, and I know the Charlotte fans
oh my goodness,
getting closer. We'll start listening to the pod.
Let's give them one real fast. Tim Albin looks like he hates his life right now.
Did you see his interview? Their Wi-Fi went out, so he had to do all of his interviews through speaker on his cell phone. We'll have to post it or retweet it.
This guy is like, why did I leave the MAC to come coach this
Charlotte
dumpster fire of an American school?
Yeah. Charlotte fans will begin to tweet at us and listen to this show. So
I know we're 0-2 against them. They can say that for a couple more weeks, maybe one more year after this year, but that's all they have after this because they are looking pretty garbage.
Stuff, yeah. Mike Houston's going to be the head coach there one day. Mark my word. Next head coach. I'm dead serious. He's perfect for the job.
If I was any coach in the nation, don't take the Charlotte job.
I think Coach Houston would win there.
I don't think anyone will win Charlotte.
Just watch.
If Tim Albin can't win there, no one else can win there.
Okay. This podcast is brought to you by Anson Belts. Over 10,000 combinations. Yes, we said it. 10,000 combinations of micro-adjustable holeless belts. You can mix and match the belt and the buckle. They even have some new buckles out right now that are pretty sick. They got ECU Jolly Roger. They got purple leather. They're great for game days. Kate, we love Anson Belt.
Yep, and what's great about Anson Belt is the holeless adjustable. Wintertime is coming back. That means a lot of us, more weight comes back to stay warm for the season. Check out Anson Belt. Halfway through the season, 3-3, 500 record. Where do you think we're going at the end of the year?
I'll still sit by 8-4. I feel good about 8-4. I think you win the next 3 games.
That's 6. You're bold.
No. I'm just talking, bro.
Well, I'm just putting it out there.
Next 3 games would be 7 or 6-3. And then you got Memphis. That's a toss-up. And then after that, you have FAU and UTSA. I think 8-4 is very, very reasonable, very respectable. But I think 8-4 should be the minimum in this conference from here on out. I think we've built it that way. I think Blake Harrell's got a good enough staff around him to where we should win 8 games in this conference regularly, and then let's take the next step. Then you're obviously talking about, all right, let's win the conference. Let's make the Playoffs. So yeah, I'm sitting at 8-4. I feel good about a preseason prediction. That's what it was. I said 8-4. You said 7-5. So where are you feeling?
I think 8-4 is the minimum bar that I'll be happy with this season on a regular season. If you drop any of the games outside of Memphis, I think people are going to get upset. I think they have every right to be upset because we had a schedule this year that we should really be sitting in the conference championship game. We should have beat Tulane, as you can see, and we have a really good football team. I think 9-3 is the best. Obviously, that's the number we can have. So I'm between 9-3 and 8-4 because I think that Memphis game is a coin flip as well. But I think even at 9-3 or 8-4, I think you're probably out of the conference championship.
Yeah, 9-3, you got a chance.
9-3, you have a chance. And I think the American, kind of adding on top of this, is by far the best G5 school.
Yeah, conference.
I mean, by far. I mean, you look at the Mountain West, you look at Old Dominion lost to Marshall, so they're kind of out of the conversation as
they
well.
Got bodied by Marshall.
Like, I don't think any other G5 conference is close besides the Mountain West. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the winner of the American's making it, unless for some reason like Memphis loses, Tulane loses, and like the next one up is like a 8-4. Like you can't go 8-4 and make the playoff, in my opinion. That's a very bad look for the playoff. And if that's the case for a G5 school, then they would change the rule the next year. An 8-4 team is not making the college football playoff, and in my opinion, doesn't deserve to.
Does a 9-3 G5 school deserve the playoff?
In the American, yeah. I think so, because then you'd be 10-3 with the winning.
There's a big G5 game this week. Boise State versus UNLV.
Yeah,
both undefeated. UNLV almost just lost.
Boise State lost to USF.
Yes, but in their conference.
Oh, in their conference, yeah.
They have yes. Yeah. And UNLV almost just lost to Air Force.
Yeah.
They came back late. But Boise, one of them will lose. Boise does have that loss to South Florida.
Yeah, which is a good loss looking at it now, though.
That is a really good loss. But South Florida still has to play
Memphis, and they just beat North Texas.
They got to play Navy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do.
Memphis and Navy. So that's two really tough games as well.
Yeah, like I said, I think 8-4. No, I don't think you make it. And then but 9-3, then you didn't end up being 10-3 with a conference championship. That's good enough to make the playoff, in my opinion. In the American, I don't think other conferences are good enough to. I think you would have to have one loss or two losses in Mountain West, unless you're Boise State. I think, in my opinion, like UNLV would have to have one or two losses.
Yeah. I think the thing about the Mountain West, I think UNLV and Boise State could both end with one conference loss.
Then they get championship game.
They get themselves back in the playoffs like they did last year.
I could see that. I could. Do you think a one loss? Oh, you want to hear a crazy scenario? What if South Florida gets the American championship wins, Boise gets the Mountain West wins? Who do you take? South Florida beat Boise.
I mean, how many losses do the South Florida
have?
Let's
say they end up with 2, Boise ends up with 1. So South Florida has an extra loss.
That's for
South Florida's only loss right now is to Miami, which is number 1 or 2 in the nation.
That's a tough one. I think that's where the committee comes in. Yeah, and people are like, who's the G5 school?
I don't know.
That was
a good one.
That would be a good one. But I still hope that South Florida doesn't win the conference.
Hope the Pirates
when
do.
The Pirates are still at large for the conference.
Yeah. No, I think so. And then the other big news we'll talk about, and then we'll let this week be done. But Penn State firing James Franklin.
First really major shakeup outside of.
Yeah. What a dumpster fire. All right. Top 3 coaches and why that if you're Penn State, Sadie, that you would go after.
First, if I was a coach, I don't know if I want to go to Penn State. Of course they do. They're going to get paid big. But it's like, think about 15 days ago.
They were
number 3 in the nation.
Yeah.
College game day was there. Like, James Franklin definitely in the back of his mind didn't think I was in any realm of getting fired. I don't even think last week after UCLA he was thinking they're going to fire. My top 3 would be, I think Matt Rule today really showed.
I think
like he's interested. He's gunning for it.
I think he's the guy. He played there.
Yeah, and he even said how much he loved Penn State in this Monday interview.
I was about to say,
so I think Matt Rule is gunning for it. I think Manny Diaz is gunning for it.
You're just taking my candidates right now.
Sorry, we had a conversation last night. And then third, Patricia. I
don't think he's not even going to get
You don't think he's going to go for it? Who's your third then?
Signetti, I'd throw everything and a house at him. Manny Diaz, I think they'll go after him, and then I think Matt Rule's the best. I think Matt Rule or Manny Diaz. Signetti would be perfect.
They're going to hire a Penn State guy.
I think if not, then go after Signetti's from Pennsylvania. Matt Rule's perfect for that job. He's charismatic. He's perfect for that job. And then Manny Diaz is loved there and is won at Duke, and Penn State's a better job. Clearly.
Well, I mean, think about Penn State. Joe Paterno, 50-plus years, head coach. Then you had, what's his name? Patriots. I can't think of his name.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. I don't know. He stabilized.
He won decently.
They were mediocre, but then they get James Franklin, a Pennsylvania guy.
Yeah.
James Franklin's a Pennsylvania guy. So it's like, I think they're going to go for a Pennsylvania state guy.
Signetti's a little old. I think you go for someone younger.
I don't think Signetti leaves Indiana.
You're tripping. If you don't think he would be interested, you're insane. You said that last night, and I still don't.
I don't know if Signetti would be interested.
And you don't think he would talk to them?
Of course. I would talk to anyone.
I mean, I understand Signetti is older, and that's the one thing that would hold him back. He's from that area.
I think Indiana, the first, 10 wins they had last year?
Yeah.
Indiana has to throw the kitchen sink to keep him.
I know they would, but here's my thing. He has 0 5-stars on the Indiana roster right now, and he's still doing that. That's not a long-term success. Like, you can't withstand that success that long. Like, he is coaching his tail off right now, and his coaching staff is. Eventually, that stuff catches up. Like, talent eventually will catch up because there's going to be great talented teams and great coach teams, whereas right now they got good talent with great coaching. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to catch up, and they know that. That's why they either got to get 5 stars or he's going to go to the Penn State job.
I don't like. I actually can see that. I don't want Signetti to leave.
I don't either. I would love for him to build Indiana.
Because what I like right now is seeing a school like Duke, who's never been a football school, kind of become a football school.
Manny Diaz.
Indiana becoming a football school.
Signetti.
That's not a football school. I don't want those guys to leave the school.
No, I agree.
Because I like that when college football changes a little bit.
Yeah.
When it's not the same people always winning the same conferences. That's what I like about it. And then Matt Rule is, I don't think he's been good enough in college football as a head coach.
He won at Temple.
No, I get he won at Temple. But
big.
That was years ago before the NIL.
But he's been decent at Nebraska to where they would take him at Penn
But
State.
Nebraska gets 5-star recruits.
I know, so does
Nebraska
Penn State.
gets talent.
Yes, but Penn State's on a different level. He's from there. And sometimes you just need a different, I don't know. He's been good at Nebraska.
I think Signetti's probably the best choice.
Yeah, respectable. Join us next week. We'll see who they take. I think they should hire Donnie
Well, they're not going to hire him now.
We'll see you next week. We'll talk next week about it.
We'll see who we'll take. That's what they said.
Oh, no. We'll see. I don't know. Money odds. I haven't checked the odds yet, but appreciate you guys for joining. Continue to support the pod. We'll have another episode. Drops next Wednesday. See you next time.